Hazvina kumira zvakanaka mhuri yeZimbabwe. Tazobata mashoko echokwadi akataurwa naChiwenga paakavhurirwa maziso naEmmerson Mnangagwa. Pamakaona akavhurirwa maziso paipa, mashoko aakaudzwa ipo pai ndiwo mashoko atauya nawo. Toda kuti tingokunzwisai mashoko iwayo, taure mashoko acho because aiwa Chiwenga akabuditsa chimwe chokwadi achiudza Emmerson Mnangagwa face to face, akamuconfront akamudza chokwadi chaanofanira kunge achiita. Right, mhuri yeZimbabwe, kana masvika pano zivai kuti pastate of affairs tinenge tichikupai nyaya dzinenge dzichiitika. Imimi mapolitical thinkers, mhuri yestate of affairs munenge muri pano munoziva kuti kana tauya tinenge tatouya. So tiri kurudzira kuti vatsva pana pagarai masubscriber, nekuti kusubscriber mahara, ende mukasubscriber munobva mava vashoma vanotanga kuona mavideos edu pano pachivhitivhiti paTV yenyu patinenge tichikupai nyaya nemalatest updates. Zviri kunzi mukanya vakati bhiu renyu iriri kana richidiwa nevanhu then ngariende kumareferendum. Saka zviri kureva kuti mukanya ane chido nevanhu, ndokutaura kwazviri kuitwa nemutauri. Right, regai tipinde munyaya zvizere. Zviri kunzi in a bold move, Vice President Constantino Chiwenga rejected a proposed bill in cabinet prioritizing the interests of Zimbabwe's mass over political risk. The bill put forward by Ziyambi faced the opposition from Chiwenga, who deemed it detrimental to the very people it's supposed to serve. Chiwenga's decision underscores his commitment to people-centric leadership. He recognized the bill's shortcomings and the lack of public consultation, ensuring the voice of Zimbabweans were not silenced. Hanzi mukanya vakazoti kana bill renyu richidiwa nevanhu, then it must go through a referendum, emphasizing the need for public participation. This move showcased Chiwenga's willingness to take a stand even amid a potential backlash. The rejection highlights key aspects of his leadership. People-first approach, prioritizing citizens' welfare over personal or political gain. Principled stance, standing firm on issues despite potential risks. Commitment to democracy, ensuring public participation in crucial decisions. Chiwenga's action resonate with Zimbabweans seeking leader who champion their cause. His decision serves as a beacon of hope for a more inclusive and accountable government. As Zimbabweans watch closely, Chiwenga's bold move sets a precedent for leaders to prioritize the people's voice. Muri Zimbabwe makamirirwa naChiwenga naSanyatwe ndovari kunzi vakajamuka vakaramba. Ndofunga muri kunzwa mashoko ari kutaurwa kunzi akabuda mukanwa maChiwenga mushure mekunge apiwawo nyaya yeproposal. Naizvozvo muri Zimbabwe takukusiyai kuno kumacomrades vanenge ari mhiri vanenge vachikurukura nyaya dzakakosha dzenyika yeZimbabwe.
Check power is a loss kwatiri susuma citizens. And above all, this right here does not strengthen democracy. This is a regression. This is a democratic regression. So you have to ask yourself, we are saying that we are a democratic country. So what does that democracy look like when you as a citizen no longer have the power to choose, the president? How about our rural folks, our young people, our marginalized, groups? These changes, how are they going to be affected? We are not seeing even any alternative, discussion, a discussion of any other alternative, reforms that will strengthen the citizen power. All what we are seeing is the weakening of the citizen power, weakening of citizen power, weakening of the citizen power. Such a tragedy. That is what we are having, we are being asked to deal with, ladies and gentlemen. That is what we are being asked to, to deal with. And well, those that were bought to come and aid whatever it is that is happening. Oh yes, or they met, or they caucused, or they discussed, or the parliamentary caucus. Away from us, you see how this thing, when I'm saying that this one was an elite negotiated, settlement. Chaka negotiate or direction. Away from us, is my citizens. Vabazo so kama language so kekuda could pacifier. But I await that day, and I'm going to be talking about that day. If you look at the resolution that came from the Chabangu-led caucus thing, or the Chabangu thing, the Chabangu nonsense in parliament, they're saying, Kuti, they are expressing support in principle for constitutional amendment number 3 of 2026. They're acknowledging that they haven't seen the full text, but in principle, they are expressing, their support. And the MPs and the councillors are even being prepared, or they've even been prepared to go out there and mobilize in terms of consultations. And the language that is being used would go out there and mobilize. And that, ladies and gentlemen, the language is the mobilization that he wants to take place, is one that appear, or the one that aligns with a supportive stance, like what they've indicated already. So yes, the Chabangu cabal and the Chabangu and if lieutenants in parliament, they are in support of the draft of the bill. How do I know that they are in support? I read that thing, I jotted my notes down, and I was like, if you want to look at the way that they started with an explicit statement of support with their resolution number 1. What do it does my resolution in Ghana Chabangu? We're gonna have to tell you so. Because in principle, we support the spirit, intent, and motivation of the bill. In principle. And they also say the bill, hear the language, correctly captures changes which are necessary. If you are looking for an indication of clear support, you have to stop there. Even though they are saying we have to wait for the full text, no, it does not matter. If you want to look for evidence that they are in support of this, just stop there and look at the language that they used in that statement of theirs to describe the bill. The moment one says necessary, the moment says welcome, a step in the right direction, addressing institutional and legitimate issues. And contributing to the national consensus and healing divisions. Ladies and gentlemen, that right there is not neutral language. It is a straight up affirmation. Affirmative. Roger, I hear you. This is coming from Chabangu and his team. Chabangu and his cabal. And this is where this one man Roger wants to say that I am a face. I is a very this what is what team really say. That is what the nature the team really. What we propose a national consensus, a government of national consensus. Could out vara kumeso, could out like run away to for them to make us think Kotizo they are with the people and yet they are not with the people. I'll show you how that is going to be difficult. I even explained it when I was explaining this will be difficult given the system that we are having in Zimbabwe. In South Africa, they can coalesce around issues of coalitions or a national settlement, a negotiated settlement, or consensus on the basis that it is a multi-parliament thing, that they have going on in South Africa. And here they come up, with their resolution and say, "Good, the constitutional changes should be accompanied by a government of national consensus, which implies we are seeing this amendment as a part of a political broader and the broader political transition." And we are willing to participate in that. That is what they are telling us. But who told them that creature is even going to be created? Are they blind to the thing? And okay, let me give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe resolution number 3 is going to be their sticking point. Maybe they are going to say, if you don't give us resolution number our own resolution number 3, then we are not going to be but who are they to be saying that? What powers do they have? Right now, I'm hearing stories. They say that almost 63% attended the caucus and 7 apologized. But what I'm seeing in there, it's not even speaking to that. Hands one get 23. So if you can't even garner enough of those things, enough of those numbers, how are you going to be pushing that? And or say, oh, we want our people to be accommodated. We want our people to take part, into this. And so they craft their resolutions number 4 to number 9. And all they're saying, our MPs and councillors go out there, convene meetings in every ward, explain the bill to the people, gather citizen views, report back, maintain discipline and tolerance. That is a tone, that is suggestive of them mobilizing, but and it is not resistance. There's no resistance in that tone. There is no resistance whatsoever. It is a tone of mobilization or mobilization. But Yahweh mobilization, Yawada Utita. So when you're looking at the closing paragraph, the one that they ended their whatever it is that they wrote in the form of resolutions to that came out of their caucus meeting, they then ended by saying, "No amount of negativity from our erstwhile nemesis can stop the people's parliamentary representatives." What does this do? What does this do? Ladies and gentlemen, this is right here, the final nail in the coffin that reinforces that they're seeing themselves as moving forward with the process, as being progressive. And criticism will never, deter us. The S1 nemesis is me and you. Who is going to be against this? And despite your criticisms, it's also we are moving forward through my energy, through my government. So that statement that they put out, ladies and gentlemen, it's just a document that is communicating a supportive intent. They are communicating a positive framing of this thing, and they're also communicating mobilization around the constitutional amendment. So yes, those that went, to the caucus meeting, and if their views are truly, truly represented In this document, ladies and gentlemen, they are signaling support for the amendment. Even though they say it is in principle, pending the final text, but the wording itself, they are gone hook, line, and sinker. Yesterday, I was proposing that, we talk to these people. We bury our hatchet. We talk to them. I take my words back. Especially those, that congregated there. Especially pertaining, to those. I take it back. But that is not to say that we are never going to be fighting. We should fight. Those who are sane enough, who are still in there, we can be in a position to be engaging, with them. Right. And above all this, it's a it's a huge positive for ZANU-PF, because ZANU-PF can go all the way to the bank, can smile all the way to the bank, and they can tell us that even the opposition are in favor of this. What these guys have done is to legitimize this amendment process. And the government can make a claim that the amendment is broad political backing. That is what, these goons have gone on to do.